Actually, I did cheat on Roblox Surf, like, right before I stopped in, like, mid 2019 or something like that, or 2020, I think.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, it no.
Username recently surpassed Joshua as the 4th best surfer in the world and completed the hardest map on KSF. Of course, Username's cheatance was trivial, and he stands as a legitimate contender for the greatest surfer of all time, due to 2 critical stats. But before that, we talked about Anubis, 2 super understated surf game modes, and the future of surf. Big thanks to the usual suspects, Niasl KSF Records, Crealington, Warble, and Rezo. We also have footage from a ton of new faces: Hero, Candon, TFC, Foon, Tempest Records, R Surf, Peaks, Cole, TR Hops, and Username himself. Please go check them out, and if you're a footage owner and want to chat, hit me up. You know what I want to talk about after we talk about this? Is fucking Anubis. That shit
Anubis?
insane, dude.
Well, I actually so the whole reason that I mean, yeah, whenever you're ready, I can start rambling about why everyone started beating it.
All right, I got a little intro. You saw me. You saw me. Okay.
Yeah?
Anubis is a tier out of 8 map created by Sneaky back in 2021, right? Probably end of it. For months, it was unbeaten, and it was even nerfed to try to entice competition from top surfers. Marvel gets that completion, I want to say, 3 weeks ago, and then you basically beat it right after. It is considered by far to be the hardest map ever created, and it's the nerfed version.
The entire reason that the map has been beaten is because I was playing it because I came back from Surf after, like, a 2-month break, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll just play Anubis because 'cause I'm bored, and I know I won't beat it." So I get to stage 3, and then I was playing it, and then Tux was in the server, and he was streaming it on Discord to a bunch of, like, people watching it, and Green Void made a suggestion to crouch the 2nd ramp. There's, like, a ramp strafe on the 2nd ramp of stage 3, where I kept failing it, like, every single time, and that's why that stage is so annoying. But he said to crouch over it, so it's like a smooth surf, and it made it, like, 100 times easier to do the rest of the stage, or at least to get to the hard part, which is the end. And, so yeah, Green Void is, like, the entire reason that that stage is easy. Because then Marble joined and he saw me doing that, and then he just beat it because he's better than me, but he beat it, like, later that day, and then I just stopped because my hand was, starting to hurt when I was, like, because I tried to do it for, like, 2 rotations and I couldn't, but
So, credit given where credit's due. Green Void came up with that strat. Just to clarify, it's the first, like, stage 3 has the double ramp where there's a really
yeah.
small one attached. It's that one that you're crouching.
There's a segment just, like, way farther off on the 2nd ramp, and it's super dumb. I
Right.
that whole stage is probably the most, like, unfun thing ever made, but, like, I just wanted to do it because, I'm like, "Wow, I could actually beat it," but no.
And be, like, one of the first people to do it. Because
Yeah.
maybe 3 years from now, there'll be 20 completions and it'll be the same level that corruption
I
is
mean,
for now.
once people figure out stage 2, because I was stuck on stage 2 for a while, but, like, once people figure that stage out, it becomes pretty easy. Like, I couldn't do the spin, like, my first time I beat it, it took me, like, a rotation or whatever, which is, like, I mean, yeah, like, 100 minutes or something, I think, is, like, how long it took, and then now I can beat it, like, pretty consistently within, like, 5 to 10 minutes just because the stage like, the ending was the hardest part for me, but
And
no,
so, what do you think your total playtime is over all your play sessions?
I think it was 13 hours that I have on the map.
That's not bad at all, especially for the
No,
hardest map, right?
it is. I mean, most of it is from the last, the last 3 weeks when we started playing. Because I think originally I had, like, 6 hours, and 3 of that was because I wanted to get stage 1 WRCP when it first came out, and I grinded that for a while, even though the run is, like, still pretty bad, but,
Mm.
I mean, it's a kinda I mean, now looking back after I beat it, it's, like, a decent map because, like, it's not, like, horrible, but I still don't like it.
And, like, its immediate comparison is Deity. Does Deity have did it have that kind of choke point where there was a stage that was just impossible? Or
I
was it
mean, it's not a really I actually really like the first 4 stages of that map, like, if the 5th stage was just not as hard as it is, I think it'd be an actually pretty fun map to go for, like, a decent time on, like a no-fill or whatever. Because I think the first 4 stages are pretty fun, even though stage 2 spin is, like, kinda AIDS, it's not that bad, but stage 5 end is just it's not even, like, skill, it's just doing it until you can get the right flick, and there's, like, certain ways and now setups for it, like, on how to flick off the ramp to do the end, but I just did it, like, when it first came out, like, I think it was, like, the 4th completion or something.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Do you know why the map was nerfed? Of course you do. Can you explain it? And do you think the original version will ever be beaten?
No. Just like, I think, like, the task Batman did, like, the weave is just so dumb, like, I think like, I've had a few attempts where, like, on the nerf version, I overshoot the ramp, and I think that would have barely made it on the normal version, just because of how AIDS that weave is. because it's all on the 150 air accelerate. So like on KS, like on GFL or Go Free, it's like way easier to do it because you can just like turn as fast as you want and you won't lose speed. But on KSF, you need like the perfect flick, which is also a blind flick because you don't know how high the ceiling is until after you do it. And then you have to like weave perfectly through it to barely get to the ramp, and then do like a semi luck spin, which can take a few attempts to do. And I mean, I think the nerf did it actually. It was a great thing because stage 3 is still super hard, and stage 2, the only hard part was actually not even that weave. It shouldn't have been.
Hmm. Did you happen to see Marble's run? He uploaded it to his channel that was like first two straight through, and then it
Oh yeah,
was
the no fill. Yeah, I saw it
so
on
close.
Twitch. Like I would have been like easily best WR of all time if he completed that because he just got like, he got everything. And it was like a pretty good run too. It wasn't even like a slow stage 2 or anything. Because he does stage 1 like WRCP way instead of like jumping out and losing point 0.6 from not doing the start zone correctly.
Whoa. And does that give you the information you need to know that you could do it yourself? That
I mean,
it's in the ballpark?
I think if I rerun stage 3, I'll be able to do it because I had a huge mental block on the end because I was playing it on Niaso's private server, which is like 150 ping for me. So I would hit the Bhop at the end weave and then I just smack a wall sometimes because the ping was just delayed. But if I did it on like an NA server and not be stupid and do it on EU, I probably would have done it a little bit earlier because I failed like a few runs just from smacking the wall and like pretty decently paced ones too.
Why did you decide to play on Niasus?
Because I just didn't want to have to interact with people because I just was like still new at surf, so I didn't want people to think I was like, I don't know. I can do it now. It's just it was like right when I came back, so I didn't want to like pretend like I'm coming back. But now since I did it, I was like, okay, I might as well come back to surf for a little bit because I've just been playing Trikz the last like 3 months.
Ooh, okay. What's that been like?
It's been more fun than surf, and I mean, I think Trikz is probably the most underrated game mode of all time because like it's way harder than surf, and there's like way less people, which is saying something because surf in general is like kind of dying now. But Trikz probably there's like maybe 20 active players at most.
What I've noticed is that Trix integrates so many different game modes into it, like just
Hmm.
like the straight KZ like checks, using people's heads, lots of B-hop as compared to. I noticed that a lot of surf maps don't integrate B-hop in an interesting way, or it's very short.
Yeah,
We don't let it
it's like
dominate the map.
bonuses or something like that. It's not really in the map. But no, Trikz, like the really hard maps, in my opinion, some of the like hard maps for like flying, the guy not throwing the flashbang, some of them are actually hard. Like it's really hard to be consistent. Like even like so like Trikz was actually in like pretty huge. Like a lot of the top surfers went over there. Pretty much all of Australia. Like Calf plays a lot of Trikz. Fisho was a pretty good flasher when he played. He stopped playing it because they're all playing Trackmania now. But Green Void was he was my flyer because I wanted to learn how to flash on Triggs. So the last like 3 months I've been learning how to do that, and it's been really fun. And so I haven't really been surfing. So I thought when I came back I was gonna be really bad, but I mean I'm pretty much at the same level of when I left.
See, now I know what you're saying. So you were a thrower or whatever. I'm sorry that I don't know the name.
It's
And
a flat. Yeah, there's a
flasher.
lot of ways like a flasher or a booster. There's
And that's why you weren't necessarily like maintaining the same surf skills that you were using.
Mhm.
It's a totally different skill set, right?
Yeah, it's all completely on time. Like there's like the best like boosters or whatever. Some of them can't even beat like a tier 3 map or tier 2, but they can just are so good at the timing because I've been doing it for like 10 years. Everyone that still plays it has been playing it for so long. There's like because it's such a hard game to get into and you need someone to teach you it. And it's also a two-player game, so it's even harder to play because you need someone else to be on too. But
But that also adds to the complexity of it, right? It makes it
mhm.
you get to enjoy it. Not only do you get to enjoy it with another person, but it's way harder than surf in ways that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I think me learning timing, like trying to time flashes when someone's going like 3,000 units and you have to hit them like pretty high in the air. It's like a very small like room for error. It's because you just have to hit their feet. I mean, there's a lot of easy maps, but a lot of them are like really bad, like 2005. Because all the new maps now are just made by people who are really good, so they're all pretty hard. So like, there's not really any easy maps to play on there, and they're all really old and kind of shit. But
So if somebody's looking to get into tricks, where should they go? Can you point them in the right direction?
Yeah, there's a Discord server. There's a guy named Ryan that basically just set up servers for different regions. Like he actually kind of survived Trikz. Like he made a EU, NA, and Australia server. I think there's a Brazil one as well.
Oh,
But
is that exclusively for Spooter or what?
for on the Brazil, on Spooter, he lives in
Oh no, am I wrong?
he lives in I think I actually sucks because I'm like I talk to him a lot, but
He
I think
he
he's
he had some
in
bomb ass Brazilian music in some of his videos. Okay, so that's
no,
why
but
I
I know
thought.
he's Portuguese. He can speak Portuguese, but I think he lives in Portugal.
Oh,
Or
okay.
he lives in the UK. It's one of the two. I don't remember. He switches between the two sometimes.
And his English is good, so that would make sense.
Yeah. I don't know, but Brazil there's like there's a lot of Brazilian players, but they're all like pretty new. I don't know. Like I think some of them are old, but it's actually more active. Like NA servers, I'm the only NA player. Like that's why I'm so used to ping now because like other than me flashing, like no one else uses the NA servers. Like there's two of them. One of them's being up by Dizzy and he doesn't play anymore. I mean, so I pretty much just fly. I be the guy on top, and I fly like Australian people a lot. Like sometimes I fly Russians because they have like a big ass Russian server that has like always like 10 plus people on it, which is pretty big.
Oh, that's actually cool. Okay, and the reason why as a flyer ping matters less is because you're not the timing doesn't matter. The other person is
Yeah,
doing
it
most of the timing.
because it's better for the booster because if you're trying to time a flash, it's like if you have like 100 ping to a server, you're gonna have to like press it and then wait like 100 milliseconds and then it'll come out and then it would throw it. But it's like impossible to do that. So I mean, I kind of wish I lived in Chicago, which is where the server is, because then I have like 2 ping and it'd be really easy. I'm in Minnesota, so I have like 30 ping to it.
Oh, okay. I'm East Coast, so it'll probably be even worse.
Yeah, it's I mean it's pretty much the best place to have a server because it's right in the middle. But
It's not too
like
bad.
it's what I've been doing. It's really fun. Although I haven't been playing it recently, I've just been playing other games. But I still would always like to come back to it. So
Game of choice right now.
I mean, yeah, I mean I'm willing to teach anybody really.
Oh, sorry, game of choice right now.
Oh, I thought you said Game of Tricks, and I'm like I would.
Oh, no, I'm gonna eat shit and I'm not prepared.
Well, I still play Sword. I still mean I pretty much I've just been playing Surf basically like every so often I come on just learn random maps because I'm kind of bored of bonuses finally, and now I've been playing maps like I've gotten what like a few WRs the last few days. But
Oh, okay, wait, let me check. I remember I saw.
I think yeah, Jungle's freaky, and I don't know how I've forgotten a map that I've got a record on. That's kind of annoying.
Did something new happen on Freaky? Because you got world record. I can't remember who Hero just got ranked 2. Do you guys
No,
find a
it's
new
just I don't
strategy?
know. It's because Calf's going for it because he's gonna get like a really good run soon. I
Uh,
think because he was streaming. I thought my run in there was like all right, but then I look back on it and it's like 3 of my stages are really slow, but my last stage was good, so I thought that was good. But oh yeah, it was Minecraft. I wanted to get like a really good time on Minecraft, but if you haven't played that map, like that is a tech map if you want to call it that. I'd call it AIDS, but that's an iconic map in my opinion.
yo, the part I never could figure out even in lock, it's when you anti-grav and you have to weave through like
Yeah,
the
that
bars.
so the outside of it, so if you look down, there's like a cobblestone textured booster. That's the booster, but on the outside, there's no booster, so you just like lose all your speed, like all your like upward height from the booster. It's really stupid, but I love that map.
It seems interesting, but I was never into tech. I was almost exclusively unit. I think further that for me, and this maybe will tie into consistency, is and Caffrey has this too. I'm really only accurate in a certain range on my mouse pad. If I go too far to the right and left, I am like a fucking rookie. And expanding that range is something I would probably assume tech surfers are really good at. You have
I
really good
I never
ownership of
really
that in
thought
tool
about that.
space.
I don't really think about my mouse. Like I just kind of like pick up my mouse whenever I feel like I can play like pretty far on the right of my edge of my mouse pad, and I can go really far into. I don't really have like I never really thought about that actually. Like how much room I actually like the better place for me to play.
For you, it might be right. For me, it's definitely left. And so I am terrible when it comes to right spin accuracy. And I can't think of a map where there is right spin right now, but
Yeah,
if there
I
was,
mean
I'd be pretty
there's
shit at it.
yeah there's not right spin is very annoying. Like, left just makes sense because it's just more smooth that way.
Exactly. And this also ties into consistency. You in a poll responded to what makes a skilled player as consistency. And I think that's actually all. I think you just wrote the word
Yeah, it
consistency.
that's pretty much everything that you need. Because if you can do what you want in a fast time, that's, like, the definition of consistency. It's just in my opinion, it's, like, being able to do something as short as possible, like, time spent to do it. So, like, Levi, for example, can get records in, like, way less time than pretty much everyone else because he just understands that the game better.
And the prime example of that is his corruption completion, where he gets that in what 3 hours, the hardest
Or
unit map.
just yeah, WRing in tourneys and stuff like that, where I can barely get, like, top 10s in tourneys probably.
That Chateau record in tourney was insane. Doing that end skip that
Yeah,
I'd like never seen before in the 10 minutes he had.
that was funny because he wanted so when we were picking our maps, I think it was against me. It was against me that he got that record. So I let him play that map because I wanted him to, just to get there because I know I wasn't gonna beat him. So the map pool I got was not what I wanted. So
Wait. You picked the map for him?
yeah, I let him. I didn't ban it so he could just pick it because I asked him what map you want to WR and he said Chateau.
Oh, dude, you're a real one, dude.
And then he just let me practice on Inspire, which I think I got like a decent time in the tourney against him, but he's just so much better than everyone.
You know, I said this with Banana. I really hope he's cheating, because that would be a
No.
video that gets a million views, bro. I swear to God.
No, he's just one of those people. He's like Favs where he's just good at every game he plays. I think he's from Australia, so he's just automatically good. There's so many I like for how little the Australian like how little the population is in Australia, there's so many good like players from there on like every game.
Yeah, so it's amazing, and I hope one day. Right now, I'm keeping him as sort of an enigma, where I don't want to talk about him way too much. I want to save it for content later, where it's like maybe you found my channel and you think this is lit. Look at this guy. We don't even know who the hell he is. He could have
I mean,
come
I
from another
can
planet.
he's in it like there's like like I can maybe he'll do an interview. I don't know. He doesn't really talk in VC, but he has a few times.
The-
Because there's like a Discord server with like a bunch of just like people that play surf and whatever. I don't know, it's like a Trikz server now, but it's like a server with a bunch of people that are just like we all like know each other and stuff. And like there's always big VCs in there, and he's sometimes in there.
I see. I
It's
see
not
what
like
you
he's
mean.
an enigma. He just doesn't play surf really.
And probably playing Apex and shit like that.
No, he's I don't actually know. I don't want to talk for him, but he
No, you're good.
more focused on school from what I realized,
Which is a good thing. This
which
shit don't
is
pay.
way smarter than doing what like
Oh yeah.
just being a server. Even though he could probably make some decent money from like streaming surf because he gets like insta 200 viewers.
Well, right now it would not be viable. He'd have to see what it'd be like. Depends on how everything goes. Maybe Momentum Mod like does work out for the other games and it trickles into Surf.
I have some opinions on Momentum Mod.
Spin them. Let's
Pretty
get it.
much, I don't think it'll be popular for surf, but every other game mode, like I love what they're doing. Even though it takes longer, I really like that they're making underground game modes like come into like fruition from Momentum Mod, like playing like Conk for the first time, which I didn't even know existed, where you throw a grenade and then it like time blows up. It's basically like solo tricks is what I call it, but
Ooh,
I
okay.
think it's actually like kind of fun and like the people that are good at it are like it's actually kind of cool. But like I would definitely play Momentum Mod for those games. I wouldn't want to relearn like I wouldn't want to go on Momentum Mod just to beat surf maps I've already beaten on KSF because the KSF database is what like 15 years old now. There's a lot of times, and I just don't think Momentum Mod will ever be able to compete with that alone. For Bhop, I think Bhop will be pretty big on Momentum Mod as well because zero ping. But
I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking because there's so many servers and
hmm
there's like a diaspora. It completely solves the problem of ping or
yep,
internet.
It's actually yeah, it's gonna be pretty big, I think, for Bhop. But the only issue I have is it is a free to play game, and I don't know. They probably have something about it, but I don't know if they're gonna make an anti cheat or something. But I really think it's pretty easy to cheat in that game. So I
Hmm.
I don't know if there is an anti cheat for it, but it is free to play, so that's just a thing that could be an issue. I don't think it will though. But
It could also be possible their ability to remove times is going to be way easier than KSF's. So if a time is cheated, they
yeah,
just remove it like the same
that's what
hour.
I assume they do it. But I think they're also working on anti cheat. If I think because someone asked that question on their Q&A streams that they do. So. but I think it'll be great for, like, I'll probably try out rocket jump or whatever, or just auto accelerated back hop.
Wait on it, please. It's amazing content. CS:GO Surf Pros try rocket jump. That's content. Just please,
It's gonna be no,
what?
it's gonna be so bad, like, because
What
I
do
have
you
no idea
mean?
how that works, so
That's the point, and we'll bring in fucking Truck. It'll teach us, or whoever the fuck actually rocket jumps.
I
No
mean, I've
shade.
seen I've seen this channel called Tempest, I think that's what it's called, like, Tempest Records, where they, like, have a bot that auto uploads every, like, rocket jump WR. They had, like, a live stream where they, like, auto like, it was like a bot that just went through every map record, and they would, like, play them all, and I thought it looked sick as fuck, but I just don't like TF2. I don't like how it feels. I tried TF2 Surf once, and it just felt like garbage.
It all feels different, even for me. And I know that other people don't experience this. CS:GO feels terrible as compared to Source, and I know the
Oh, yeah,
difference must be really small, but it's dramatic for me.
I I think in my opinion, like, with the right settings, Roblox feels better than CS:GO. If
Oh,
you have, like so we can get into Roblox if you want, but, like,
oh yes.
it's a pretty base take, but I think it's just because 'cause I'm biased, because I've obviously been playing it for the last, like, 3 years probably.
And I'll give a little
I haven't
intro to
actually
this. And I just want to say, I tried it. I'm gonna say
oh, no,
eight.
it'll feel like shit for you for sure.
Oh no, I tried it for like 2 months and I was so goddamn surprised. I was expecting a shit show and I got on and it was like, this is surf. It is an authentic surf
Mhm.
experience. And if you haven't tried Roblox Surf, it's completely free. My recommendation would be to get the FBX
Okay, so you
unlocker.
did yeah, that's what I was gonna say is you need that because
Yeah.
Roblox is capped at 60 FPS, so
And even seems to drop lower randomly. Like I play Phantom Forces, and if I don't have that on, I don't even get 60. It'll spike down to 45, which is stupid as fuck. Um, but also the Turnbind, you can't even really do it in a normal way. You have to download a macro, like auto hotkey, I believe it's called,
yep, that's what it is.
and then you can create your turbines. And if you're really good at surfing, and you want to like try it out. I was getting pretty nice times, like top 50. It obviously isn't amazing, but like I was getting top 50 on a lot of maps. And the hard maps didn't seem too hard either, so
No, there's not really I think so yeah, I can, like, I can go through all the stuff in the Roblox category if you want,
hit it.
like, how it was created and, like, everything about it. Because from this is all from my perspective, I might be wrong on a few things, but Roblox Surf, it was made by one guy in, I think it's Lua that they use in Roblox for coding. I don't know anything about coding, but he used Lua and he made his own engine. So if compared to CSS, it is like completely different. The hitboxes are completely wrong. There's no crouching. There's leaderboards are completely different. The timer is going doesn't go down to the third decimal, and the physics obviously is like if you just watch a Roblox surf video, you can just tell there's something wrong with how long you float in the air. And, yeah, it's completely different to CSS, and I think it's kinda interesting because it is very original, and it was made the guy who made it, his name's Quaternions, and he actually made Bhop, and then he decided to make Surf, which all he did was cut the Bhop gravity in half, which is why Surf looks so like, whack. I don't know if he like, you can't really change he can change the physics whenever he wants, which is also why there's an issue with cheating on there, because it's extremely easy to cheat on Roblox and you can change the physics with a simple like cheat that you can like inject into it.
And so, does that affect the competitiveness of the game? Is it then harder to say XYZ person is really good because there's always a possibility that they're cheating? Or is this something that's actually perceptible by people who play?
So we can get into some drama. So actually, I did cheat on Roblox Surf like pretty like right before I stopped in like really like mid 2019 or something like that, or 2020 I think.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, this isn't news. Like a
No,
lot
no,
of the
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
surfers know, but like it obviously you can't use Roblox cheats on CSS. But like I was so fed up with the game that I just like I don't know why I did it, but I did cheat, and then there is an anti-cheat on it, so, like, you have to get whitelisted to get records, so, like, basically, if you get a WR, there's, like, mods in there that'll review your run, and they can tell if it's cheated or not from, like, just certain things that you can look for, but so it's not like the records are cheated, but, like, I did do it, and it's extremely easy to like, it literally takes, like, 2 seconds, but if you do download, like, a cheat client, you probably get a virus, though, because people on Roblox are just scum, which is obvious.
Yeah, targeting young people too. But you know what? It's based that you cheated because now I can use that clip where you said you cheated as like the intro clip for the
Yeah.
video, and it'll get a lot of hits off of that too.
Yeah, that's huge. No, but I mean, you can't. I'm just saying, yeah, you can cheat on it really easily, which is why I have an issue with like Momentum Mod because I don't know what they're gonna do for cheating. But I
Yeah, I
was a
don't know.
cheater. I'm reformed on Roblox. I did get unbanned on Roblox, although I was banned for about a year probably. But I mean, now it's no one really plays Roblox anymore because everyone, like all the good players at least, moved over to Source, like Stoddy, Nate, Cryptus, Cole, me.
Ooh, okay, let's talk about Nate for a sec. All tier 7 half sideways completions, which is
Dude, he
something
got
I
good.
don't actually think has been done before. Although half sideways, I think you said before, it's like you have binds, and so it's not as severe as sideways and backwards. But still,
So
I
yeah,
think it's achievement. Yeah.
the reason he's so good at half sideways is because on Roblox he made like I don't even know where he came from. I don't know when he started surfing. He's like a very new surfer. I think like 2020. I think is when I first saw his name on Roblox, and then he just like got good really fast. So he played half sideways, and on Roblox half sideways binds aren't a thing. So you have to play it legit. Like you like there is half sideways
Oh.
binds, but like you'll get banned if you use them, and it's very easy to tell. So he didn't. So he got really good at half sideways without using binds. So when he came over to source, he just. I mean, obviously he uses binds because everyone does. So it became super easy, and I think he just like became so good so fast. Although I am surprised he like beat Anubis and shit. Like that's really impressive because he's like very new to surf.
And it inclines me to believe that something about Roblox is giving you guys an amazing, like, uh, you're an environment for growth. Really, I do. I think so. And I think if I'm misremembering this, please just let me know. At some point during one of the tournaments, you said the ramps in Roblox are so bad that you have to learn how to ramp properly. That there are little nuances
Yeah.
in the ramps that you have to figure out and will give you an advantage and incline you to then bring that to source and just be a ramping god.
So yeah, Roblox ramps in general. So like the Roblox like studio that you use to make it, it's like super easy to use. It's very like intuitive to figure out what to do compared to like Hammer where like you need some sort of like video to like help you through it. But Roblox you can just like place like down a ramp and then you can like make a really easy map. But like so like a lot of the ramps are super garbage. And there's a lot of like 10-second maps. Like the most popular map on there is called surf underscore I don't know, which is like 16 seconds and it's like really, really basic looking. It probably took like 10 minutes to make, but it has like I think it's like 200. I think I checked earlier today. There's like 278,000 completions on it,
I'm
which
remembering
is
this. Hold on. Is it the one that's like linear and there's like a
yeah.
hold on. What's the name again?
Surf I don't know.
This is what
I
I
think
would call a very strafe oriented map for sure. That
oh yeah,
your
it
strafe sync and everything matters most.
that's Roblox in general. It's very strafe heavy. You need to like, which is also I think is another benefit for us. Even though my strafes aren't the greatest, um, it's really strafe heavy. Like you need to be good at strafing, which is why like Stoddy, he has super sharp strafes. If you ever watch him surf, there's some other people on Roblox. Like there's a guy called Serenity. He's like ranked 2 on
Yep.
Nova. He uh he probably is like the best strafes out of everyone on Roblox in my opinion. He has like they're super clean to watch. And he's from like Indonesia too, so he's like pretty.
What the hell was it called? Shit.
All I know is yeah, he got ranked 2 on Nova. That's all I know.
Spectro top 10 on momentum and a
Oh
really good cyberwave time. I want to say like rank 30 or something. And that's an extremely competitive map. Like
yeah,
group 1 on that map is already really difficult
I don't even know
for
if I'm
mid
Group
range
1 on that
surfers.
map.
It's I don't even know how I got it. It's so fucking tight. But
It's yeah,
yeah,
that's a classic map though.
absolutely. And I was glad I made a video about it too, because not many people knew about it, even though it was really popular in the community. So hopefully some people got to know about it. Okay, favorite Roblox surf map.
I don't really hold on, that's gonna take a while because there's been a lot of new maps since I've last played because they released new maps in like bunches of like 30 or so. So I mean probably Luck 2. That's probably like the best looking map, even though it's very smooth oriented. But I kind of like it. Or I can give you like a really long ass showcase on it.
That's the I already. It's the only tier 5
Yep,
Roblox
you can like
map.
use it as like video, like in the video,
Absolutely.
because you can like ease like this is a so the map's like 2 minutes, and you can just tell how floaty it is compared to CSS.
Yeah, that's one of the things I never got to figure out. Do you happen to know the particulars of that, or is it just like a wash?
Um, if I recall, 1 unit on Roblox is like 13.7 source units.
That's actually pretty helpful. Okay.
Think it's like 13 or 14. Cole had like the decimal for it and everything, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I have to talk to Cole for Mesa, which will probably come out like in early fall. Could be a good thing. Favorite? Oh, favorites of Roblox world record, and I know you have a ton. So if you just can think of a memorable one too, I will take that.
One of my records?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea.
Ooh.
I don't know any of like I haven't played it in like a year, so I don't know if I even have some of the records. I remember I went on like I think like a month ago with like I was just bored, so I went on. I think I got like some random app called Cerebral Record by like point oh 0.01. I like barely got it, but that's all I know. I think my favorite record on there though is probably I don't know, just because of how competitive that map is. There's I think the most completions on any map ever, including CS:GO, 278,000.
It could be close. Mesa on Go Free,
I think it has
Utopia.
like yeah, they have a lot on there too though. So I don't know.
What was? Oh no, Go Free was only 73K, and I know that because Manana had it for a minute.
Oh,
I don't think Source has a single record with that many completions either. So you know what? It really might be the most competitive. That is crazy. Okay.
that is I didn't even realize there's that many because when I played there was only like 100,000. Because it's just like yeah, it's like always on one of the like the most popular servers. So some random guy that's never doesn't know surf because they're it's Roblox, so it's a lot of younger people. They join, they like beat one map if they can. Most of them can't, and then they just never play it again. That's pretty much how it goes,
Yep.
which is like kind of sad because I wish people like tried it, but it's just such a hard game to get into.
I think that's why Memento Mod, even if it doesn't get popular, like maybe will even be sort of self-serving and will push Momentum Mod, knowing that people will try the campaign and try Surf, and then say, okay, now come be competitive on KSF. You beat your tier ones, you played for the campaign, whatever it is. Here's the
Yeah,
real Surf experience where you can see how you compare to not only people who play currently, but basically every surfer that's ever played the game, excluding CS:GO, because the database has never been wiped in over a decade.
yeah. I mean, I hope it does. What I do hope Momentum Mob Surf does is just get more people because it's gonna be a Steam game, so obviously millions of people will like it's on Steam. So it's not like Counter Strike Source like a game mode in that. It's like its own standalone thing. So hopefully people will realize because I think Surf will be the most popular mode on it anyway. But maybe Bhop will be more popular just because of the low ping.
And it might not be a prerogative, but that's what, when it comes to winter time, when they're probably going to release it, at least that's what Galkneck said, I'm going to be doing a big push with tons of promo. And like, I'm literally going to like make advertisements. I'm dead. I'll spend the advertisements. You'll be surprised. Like, I've tried this
No,
for
yeah.
one of the shorts.
I saw some streamer who bought ads to like get people to subscribe to his channel, and it was like a lot of money, like surprisingly for how little interactions it gets.
Well, you know what? I got for $10, I think, $10 or $15, I got 700 views on a short, which is
That's
not.
that's
Hey,
not very good for shorts.
ooh, but hey, no, no, no. That short got the 3K. Now,
Oh,
before you lambast me, I talked to somebody big in the community, and they told me to do it, and I did it, and I was happy with the results. I think,
I 3,000. I thought it only got like 700, which is like 3,000 is like pretty respectable for a short.
but it's just over the lifespan, and then it dies, and the impressions, it
Yep.
stops getting impressions after a period. And that fucking Fiverr video I made with Benoe that was really fun to make and easy got 3.2 in a day. It blew up. It got
You clickbaited that much.
110,000
Well, it's not like
impressions.
clickbait. You just made it look very clickable. The thumbnail and everything.
You like that thumbnail? See, I
I think it
showed it to
was a good
somebody and they
video
hated it.
because it was like it's like very like a lot of people can tell like, "Oh, hired I know what CS:GO Surf is, and you hired some guy in Fiverr to teach you. Let me look it up. Like, I'll watch it."
Yeah, it's not like Joshua crouchboarded this ramp for 10 extra units, and then when he got onto the next ramp, he didn't crouchboard, and here's why. Like, it was fucking anybody could watch that shit. I think
Yeah,
that's why I did well, too. Yeah.
and crouch boarding, I think I mean, someone's gotta make a video on that
Yeah, I
because
got you, but I don't understand it.
do you understand how it works or
No,
no?
of course not.
I I don't even understand how it works. I just started doing it because, like, that's the thing was, like, for surf for me, like, I never really, like, got any of the stuff. I just watched the bots, and then I just, like I started realizing, like, "Oh, yeah, if I hold down crouch and then let go of it right before certain ramps, it feels better to board. That's literally it. It's just I think it feels better, which it might be a placebo. I know it actually does kind of help, I think, for like a few units, but like
I
it
what I have been explained, or has been explained to me, is that you get the difference in height between when you were crouched and when you released your legs. So you get what should be there's a 10 unit max, and how when you release it determines whether or not you're getting 10 or 2. But if
really.
when you hold it, and I think that only really applies to ramps that are completely sideways, like the end of Highlands B4, where you're really barely missing the head check, so you're already crouched. And then when you get onto the ramp, or when you're really close to getting onto it, you uncrouch and you get the difference in
Oh
units.
yeah.
Um,
I never even thought about it. Like I just started doing it because it felt like the right thing to do. Like it just makes sense. I don't know.
hmm.
Which I at least I mean, I don't know. It's just everyone does it. That's like pretty good. I think the best person that does it is like I know Kramali does it on like a lot of ramps when he played a lot of smooth maps. He like if you watch some of his records on like smoother maps, he crouch boards like every ramp.
He also
Which
swears against Turnbinds for most turns.
oh, that is I so yeah, on Roblox, originally there was no Turnbinds, so I didn't play with Turnbinds for like a first year in like 2018. And then some guy called Mudkips, he made the AHK that like is used on CS:GO I think now, or I think there's its own thing on CS:GO, but originally that I used it, I'm like, "Oh, you could probably use these Turnbinds in CS:GO," and they worked. Like actually they worked, which I thought was kind of cool. And then so yeah, I started just abusing Turnbinds like a motherfucker. I use 70 yaw, and I don't change it for anything except, like, few spins. Like, on Anubis, I had a separate turbine for, like I think it was, like, 200 for the end spin and whatever, but that's pretty much I use it on every like, if you watch a record with, like, slash keys on, I literally use turbines on the start zone just to, like, get my mouse in the right spot or something. I don't know, it's really bad habit to have, but it works for me, so
You were almost freed of that bad habit until Mudkips created it.
yeah, well, like, since he created it, I started getting better, so, it helps me. I don't know. I really like the feel of turbines. I think they're great because it's already in the game anyways, so I might as well use it.
Yep. I'm about to make a video, top 5 tips, entry level content, easy money. But like things that I
Oh,
haven't heard been said in other videos, especially by people who, man, the videos that are tutorials that have gotten millions of views are by people who don't play the game.
yeah.
Orsons were amazing, but they got 50K
I
when they
don't.
should have
Yeah.
deserved a million. They were too late to the party in some sense after it
What's his
already
name?
blown up, right?
Is it Ankle CS? That's his name now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really good, both of them. One was on strafing and the other was on catching, which is those are the two most important things. Probably catching is the most
Mhm.
important thing in the whole game.
I do remember seeing these videos actually,
Really,
and
really
I
good.
didn't even know what those terms were, but I'm like, oh yeah, it does make sense. Like the way he explained it with his own terms and everything. It no, those were actually really good videos. I don't know why he stopped. I mean, it is kind of hard to make. I don't know, I wouldn't wanna do tutorial videos. I'm really bad at teaching, like, I don't understand what I'm doing anyway. It's just because I have so many hours in it.
I feel that way about certain things. There are people who are really good at it. Ben was amazing at just like explaining simple stuff, and then when I turned it into tutorial, I could have a lot of time to then figure out how I was going to articulate it.
Yeah.
But that's most of my plan going forward is to create a lot of entry content, which is like that, like not copying off of Orson, but definitely using that strategy. I'm gonna have to see how it turns out. Oh, but the reason I said that is because I think my second tip is gonna be learn how to use turbines and learn how to use CL yaw speed. Adjust the strength of the turbines and learn how to turn with the turbines. Like you're never just pressing Q and letting it do it by itself. You're then
Well,
using the
you
mouse to supplement that.
oh, you use Q and E?
Okay, sorry.
You're
No,
not a
I'm
mouse
lying. I
button
use one and
user,
two.
huh?
Yeah, I use one and two. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a huge bias towards the mouse users. Mouse 4 and 5 or mouse 1 and 2 for turbines is the best. I know some people like to accidentally, like, press down mouse 1 and 2. I actually did that a lot when I first started using turbines, is accidentally press, like, mouse 1 or 2 mid-run and ruin the run.
Oh, maybe you
But
should use
I
Q and E,
I just
motherfucker.
people who use it on their keyboard, like, I think originally Tux used C and V for turn binds, which I think that's what he used. I don't remember, but like some people use such weird keys, and I don't understand how you like. have the brain to like change your key mid run to do a turbine.
Okay, but let's just say for the sake of example, let's say I use mouse 1 and 2 for save lock and Q and E for turbines so that I can save lock really comfortably.
I mean,
I'm not
I mean,
saying I
if
use
yeah,
Q and E.
it doesn't you can use whatever you want. I just think it's weird. Like I don't understand how people do that. It's like some people use turbines and then they like have like a 200 yacht turbine, but then they like push against the turbine to slow it down with their
Oh
mouse,
no.
which I'm like, some people actually do that, and I'm like, how? That is insane. Like, I don't even like the muscle memory on that is just not there for me. I just use the turbine and then like I stop it. Like sometimes I just like spam press the turbine until I get the right turn for it, and it looks really weird in the replay.
It does, but yeah, I've done the same thing. And I remember maybe once actually using the turn against the turbine strategy, which I guess now we'll have to like do and then record and show what it looks like. But it's fucking it feels so weird.
I know one guy who did it. He's Sagatho. He's like kind of
Oh, I know him.
underrated. Yeah. Okay. See, I think I remember him telling me he does that, and then some other people that I forgot, which I don't know. That's tech. I can't do.
Why do you think you prefer like well, do you know a lot of tech? Why do you think you prefer that like tech over unit surf in general?
Oh, so I think I'm actually pretty decent at unit surf.
That's what
I've
they all
done
say.
no. Okay, I've done pretty much every B4 except uh
Ooh.
a certain one that I'm not gonna name because I failed the end by like 1 unit.
Oh.
But you can guess which one that is if you just look at it. But
Yeah.
it I think unit surf is fun, but it's just like when I don't get the units I want after like an hour of playing it, I just feel like defeated. Whereas tech surf, like it's all about just completing like let's say a certain route. Like I like Bhop. Like there's these things called fly maps on Bhop where it's more on like there's like more surf or sort of like smooth turning involved and not actually B-hopping.
I can
There's
think
some
of an
good examples.
example. Yeah, the one that Dawn did. It was on Source Jump not
Dawn
too
does a
long
lot
ago.
of fly B-hops, fly B-hop maps as well. I'm gonna hold on. Let me look at my
Bhop
which ones I
underscore
have.
scan trap is a great one and one that I think that should be put on KSF
Sand
because of how
trap. Oh yeah,
yeah.
those are good ones. Let me see if I can find. There's one that I really liked. It's called Fly Lovers. I remember Calf had the record on there for a while, and then I took it. I don't know if he played it again or not, but it's called bhop underscore fly underscore lovers, and it's like
Yeah.
when you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But it's more like it's more just about your movement and just completing a run than instead of like having to do it like fast. Like well, like you want to do it fast, but like having to go completely for units instead of just going for like hitting a route instead.
And it's awesome that surfers are able to then just port right over into Bhop and do these. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this is great.
I have 10 world records on Bhop, and like pretty
What?
much every single one of these maps are just like fly maps,
Oh
except
shit.
one.
Wait,
Here, I can give
what's
you
one
more.
that you have a world record on?
I have one on Fly Lovers, Fly Down, Fly Xerotic. Here, I'll send you a list. A screenshot. I think you can look up all these maps. Some of them don't have replays, but I've never
Unfortunately.
gotten on Source Jump, so they won't be on there. But there's
Ooh.
videos of these.
Is there a Bhop map that you would want a world record and try to get on Source Jump?
Uh, I don't know. I haven't really ran any B-Hop maps. I just play fly maps because they're actually really fun. Like they remind me a lot of tech surf, like certain tech maps. Like I don't really know an example of tech surf. Like I think the map Surf Hectic is like a good example of a tech map. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I would even say like Elites is a tech map. Would you consider that more to be unit? I could see
Oh,
how you
that's
could say that.
definitely more. I mean, that's the thing though. Is tech maps like they still like the thing between tech and unit is kind of weird because obviously on tech maps you still need to have the best units you can, but like it's just more. I think tech in general is more focused on like not completely on getting like the best boards on ramps, but more on just like doing certain parts of the map that are kind of hard. I don't know. It's very weird category to like discriminate between both.
It's like Sam had a really good definition. Tech elements have specific setups and executions. For example, the royal spin is pure tech
Oh yeah.
because it doesn't necessarily have a unit requirement. If you Of course, it does off the first ramp, right?
Yeah.
But if that base 400 units you get is pretty much a given or whatever it is, and then you just have to know how to do the spin, as opposed to
Yeah, that is a good way of just like explaining it, I guess, yeah.
I know I'm actually having trouble thinking. I like maybe you would say Anubis is unit tech because almost all the
Oh, for
stages have
sure.
unit surf and then a complicated technical element. And technique is the quintessential unit tech map because almost all the technical elements are easy but require you to conserve your units properly. So I think that's a good way to distinguish them, except that distinction is completely false. Chromalia like makes an amazing argument. All tech surf basically devolves to unit surf because regardless of what you're doing, the units that you have affect the time that you get and the rate at which you can complete the
Yeah,
stage.
exactly.
So
Because like, oh, sorry, like on fly maps, whatever, like you could be the first one to hit the route, but someone could do the route faster, which then involves you to need more units to do it instead. So, which is why I think just that, like the term tech is just for maps that aren't completely smooth only, instead of like actually, you still need units to do them fast, of course.
absolutely. Do you have any words of wisdom for new surfers who have chosen to focus on tech? And I think the reason why I wrote this question down is that I imagine new surfers who are getting properly integrated into the community because they watch content like this or they watch Orson's stuff are making the decision, am I going to be a .610 surfer and try to be Saxton, or am I going to try to be username and just dominate tech maps? Am I going to try to be Marble and beat Deity and Anubis or whatever it is? So maybe my question first would be, do you recommend that people start on tech at all, or should they actually be playing unit
No,
maps first?
I think originally if you want to get into surf, you should start on the easier maps, which most of them are just unit maps, like
Yeah.
the classics like Utopia, Kitsune, just like really easy maps. And then if you want to get into harder stuff, most of the tier three maps like are pretty like they're like stage tier three, 2008 maps. Those are like pretty hard because they're like really aids, but like they still involve actually like being able to do ramps that are not made well or whatever, or just certain things. Like I think the best way to get better is just play all the maps you can
Hmm.
instead of just sticking to one. Which I mean, it's pretty obvious to not just play one map only.
And some people shit on completion surfers. Like, oh, you have 80% completion, but you're not top 50, right? But
Well,
that kind
that's
of has a
good. I
point.
mean, yeah, but like it's different. Like at least they have the experience on playing different maps. Because if they want, then they can go back to the map and get a better time later on, and they already know it. Instead of just like a guy that has like 10% and he just only looks for maps that he knows he can get like a good time on to get points or whatever.
Right.
Which I mean, if you can do whatever you want, I don't care. Like if you want to go for completion, go for completion. Like if you can get 100% now, especially like pretty fucking hard. Because even now after beating Anubis, I like there's still like bonuses like Exonic B3, which only Roller has done. So
Impossible.
and
Even
he
an
said that
85
one's like
ticket's insane.
yeah, like even Roller said. I think he said I don't remember what he said. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to like say something wrong. But he said it was like 100 times harder than Highlands before or something like that.
Whoa.
Like the flicks on there. Like I save locked it once and it took me like 20 minutes. It was really annoying because like every flick is super precise. You have to do it perfectly, or it's just not, you're not gonna do it.
And that's very much units, especially that last turn at the end where you have to avoid the
Oh
head hit.
yeah, that
Impossible.
turn is impossible.
No. But it's things like that. I really think that these Fio B4 type bonuses where nobody's beating them, they will serve as very important historical markers. And they will serve as milestones for surfers as they come up to be like, here I am. Like Nate beating Anubis is not to be scoffed at. That is a
Well,
major like statement to say, hey, I'm here and I'm about to just like fuck some shit up. So take a look. You know what I mean?
I mean, he got deity WR. Like he's very good at tech surf, especially at doing it pretty fast. Like I think I mean I don't know if he was joking or not, but I think he's going for half sideways on Anubis, which
What?
pretty impressive. I don't know his name after he beat it changed to half sideways win. So I think it
Yes.
would be great if he did that because like him doing corruption half size is like half sideways in general is a pretty like in my opinion I think with binds it's not very impressive,
Mm.
but on the harder maps where it is kind of hard to see when you're half sideways and they're actually hard to do anyway, it becomes pretty impressive to do some things like corruption half sideways or I think I don't know if he's done DDS always, but that would be really cool.
And just so people might be able to understand, like you could probably, if you can beat Utopia, you could probably beat it half sideways if I give you the binds, because it's really
Yeah,
not that hard. But if you try to
he did
do,
do. Sorry.
yeah, if you try to do deity half sideways, a lot of the visual markers and information, like you might be using parts of the ramp to know where you're supposed to be, and when you flick, when you're doing it forward, like now you're half sideways, and you might not be able to see that. So you have to completely relearn it with less information as you try to complete. Makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, I just realized he did do DDS always 7 months ago.
Insane.
So I'm just completely out of the loop, I guess.
This will get
Well,
cut
that's
out, but I'm trying to make a pro player profile on him. Just like 10 minutes, like starting on Roblox, coming on half sideways, and then just doing a bunch of shit. Do the same thing for Lemix, probably after, because he's coming up and he seems really good.
oh, is he has he agreed to an interview? I don't know
Not
much. I mean,
Lemix.
I'm pretty good friends with him. Like him and I talk a lot. But
Well,
like,
Nate or
yeah,
Lemix?
Lemix. I mean, I've talked to
Ooh.
Nate, too, but I don't know if Lemix. I haven't like heard. I don't know anything about him as like a person. I just know like him and I just talk surf. Like every time he gets a record or I get a record, we congratulate each other basically.
Hey, if you happen to speak to him and it sounds like he's interested, he mentions some shit, tell him that Repster is 100% down. Because
Oh
Nate,
yeah.
Nate already agreed. And I think that me and him are going to be speaking like next week or next weekend. That'll be on the plate.
Oh.
So we'll see what happens. Now, we haven't done this yet. As you know, maybe not. I did a little bit of trivia with Marble and Banana. I asked them some questions about their career to see if they know their shit about themselves.
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything?
I the only thing I know is my first record. If that's what you're gonna ask me that,
All right, what is it then? You better get it
in
right.
Rage.
And who is the famous surfer that was in fact holding on to his last standing world record until you took it?
Oh fuck! It was morning.
It was morning and
Yeah, I
people
knew
were
that one.
crying. There was a
Yeah, I know.
funeral of 200 attendees when you took his last world record, motherfucker. It was insane.
Yeah, I remember after I got that because no one knew who the fuck I was because it was like late 2019 and I beat Morning's last record, which was even more of a fucking hitter. But
How did you feel
the
after
run was.
that?
I mean, I remember I was streaming it actually. I wish I saved the VOD, but I remember I was streaming it. And I was so nervous because Mako was in my chat and he was like the god of tech at the time. He had like
Mm,
everything, or Mako, however you want to call him.
yeah,
He was in there, and then after I got it, I was like freaking out because it was like my first record on KSF. Oh my god! Because at the time I only had like 3 bonuses or something like that, or like 2 stages.
that is a moment that many of us would kill for. And and not only did you do that, you did go on to get, what is it, 20 world records now?
Hmm.
And then how many bonus world records do you have? And I'll take a rough ballpark estimate.
Right now it's like 240 something. I lost like
240.
I lost like 7 in like 2 days, like a few days ago. MBN took like 3 of them, and then like I lost some other to other people. It
Now,
was I think my peak was 247. I think
almost 250.
that's what I wanted, but it's whatever. I don't like bonuses right now. They're because I'm kind of running out of things I'm good at to do. Like I've tried a lot of the bonuses, and then I can't do some of them or whatever. So that's why I've been playing more maps recently.
Hmm. And 240 bonuses would be pretty crazy. But how many world record checkpoints do you have?
I think literally like 240 again. Like they're both like even, something like that.
Out of the top 4 players, you have both the most bonus world records and the most world record checkpoints. Do you think that does that show something about your attention to detail? Does it also maybe show like an insane potential to start getting map world records? Because how could you have 250 world record checkpoints if that doesn't
Um,
also mean you could then run the maps that they're on?
yeah, that's the thing though is I have really bad nerves, so
Mm.
I just prefer not to play maps. The reason I've been playing maps recently is after because I got my first Trikz WR like right before I got my WRs on like when I came back in June or whatever, the June 13th I think is when I came back. I got my first Tricks WR and I was literally freaking out because like Tricks maps are like 6 minutes long and we were no fill pretty much up to the last stage, and I was freaking out so bad, and then I got that, so now my nerves have just, like I think honestly from that, because I was so nervous on that run, that they're just gone now. Because when I played surf, I'm just not nervous anymore.
And that is a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to some fucking amazing stuff from you, bro. That is such a like it. You really do seem to be the most broad, have the most broad understanding of Caffrey probably too. But that is like an insane amount of records to have in this
Oh,
kind of
yeah, he
precise fact. Like
is.
anybody can come and take these at any time, but they don't. Like they can't beat them. That is something to say, dude. It's insane coverage.
I mean,
But
I think 20 records is I'm really happy when I got
oh yeah,
I'm not gonna say the name of the map because it's racist, but, when I
what?
got jungle, etcetera, when I got that,
Oh
I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
shit.
that was my 20th record." That's I was really happy when I got that, and then the whole reason I have so many bonuses and stages is because of COVID. Like, I was just like Marble, him and I like, we both when COVID hit, it was, like, right at our starting points of when we started getting good. And I think because, like, 2020, 2021, since I have 2 monitors, I would be in my class, and then whenever they're teaching or whatever and I'm bored, I would just go surf
Yeah,
all day.
same. Same, but I didn't get any better. That is
I
a
just
that's real.
I grinded the fuck out of and I would always be in, like, expert or veteran or top 500 server, which they would have random maps, and I would just play the stages and bonuses on them because 'cause I'd be too lazy to learn them. So, that's pretty much how I got most of that.
Hmm. I would say for
It
me
was
it was similar. I started being able to do YouTube because my last semester in college, which this was sort of whack, it was virtual. So I was like at home in New York and I had all this time, even though I was taking like
Mhm.
4 or 5 classes. Like I aced all that shit and then I made like those 2 world record history videos. It was super easy.
Yeah, I had so much time even though, like, it was my junior year, which is, like, kinda the hardest year in high school,
It is.
which was it was for me too, I think. Like, even though, like, I still had so much time, like, if I wanted to learn something, I could just look it up online, like, it was really easy.
Junior is crazy because of the APs and
Mhm.
applying to college. It's a
Yeah.
wash.
I have this summer off, and then I will have to start having a life because I graduated, like, 20 days ago, so,
Congrats, my boy.
it was yeah, I'm like, "Oh, shit, now I actually have to, like, have a life." I mean, I have a few things in mind, but I'm not gonna be able to surf as much, so I'm just gonna try and do as much this summer.
No, and yeah, and I think that that's it happened to a lot of pro surfers or people who are really good at it. That life, like Travelcopter, was pulling 500 viewers or wherever it was. It was at the top of his game, and then he made the right decision for himself at that time because there wasn't going to be financial
Yeah.
security in that.
I mean,
But
it's hard to you can't, like I kinda wish I picked a game like Rocket League or something where I could get money from being professional, but
yeah, but then you
I'm
never
happy
know.
I put my time in surf. I've it's pretty fun. It's very relaxing too.
You really never know with because you don't know where you would have been in Rocket League. I think
Nope.
there was one person who Remco, I think.
Yeah, it was
w-
Remco. And
Yeah,
Frag, he became, like, semi-pro as well.
well, you probably would have done really fucking well. You probably
Oh,
would have been great.
I've been playing Rocket League the last, like, few weeks. I have, like, 100 something hours on it now, and it's really fun, even though I'm not very good at it at all.
It's fun, right? I mean, people are way better than they were a few years
Oh,
ago, but
dude, yeah, I like watching the pro scene of Rocket League because everyone there is just so much better than everyone else. Like, they're just so much better than every player. It's insane, and they're all like 15.
I have faith in Surf that it can actually do what Trackmania and Rocket League are doing. But I think that the reason why it hasn't is because both of those games are also being pushed by an enormous company with lots of advertising and capital
Mhm.
to expand. But what I've noticed is that Surf not only has survived all these decades without major sources of advertisement, but they're continually returned to by content creators because there's a game here that people keep telling them it's really deep. One person I think of is you may not know him, but it was a streamer named Atrioc who is
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
he did a
Wait, he
surf
plays
video and it got like 500,000 views. It was a
really?
really good one. It was if
What's it
you haven't
called?
seen it, something mod. My mod doesn't eat if I don't beat this surf map or something like that. And if you search up CS:GO Surf, just in general, it'll be one of the top choices on YouTube.
If I don't surf, he doesn't eat.
And he tries to be
108
Simpson.
dude,
He's,
what
yeah,
yeah, it's Simpson, yeah.
He's just like some maps that he really should not be surfing for the first time, but that's all right.
Wait, he just said there's a video, there's a VOD of him called "Paying a Pro to Teach CS:GO Surfing."
Yeah, but he's not a pro. It's like somebody who you would have never heard of,
Oh, it's
some
just some
CS:GO
random
guy.
Yeah, he's a pro though. That's the thing is no one knows CSS. Everyone like if like someone in like IRL, like I like most of my IRL friends, they know what surf is, but like they all think it's like on CS:GO or whatever. So
Well,
like
here's something interesting. Not to dox myself, but I work with middle schoolers, and they all know what it is, but they have no idea what the name is. Like they've
hmm
all seen it before, but they cannot put a, yeah.
it's yeah, it's just from Leafy, which is kind of interesting on how much like he made it. Like he literally just like created the game mode to be really popular in my opinion. Him and Raccoon Eggs and all them.
But this is a good return because we talked about that at the beginning.
Yeah,
I
it
have
does just kind of like just talk about random things.
It was easy, right? Wasn't I mean, you didn't have to use a ton of brain power. My
No,
questions were all right.
I was gonna ask though is do we have any more things to talk about?
No, and the last thing I did to close out with Manana was, do you have any questions for me? Like, you've seen the content so far. Are the things that you're wondering about? Like, he asked about my motivation, and I basically said, I have faith. I think this is one of the best games I've ever played. I don't think that it's just like, I tried Rocket League. I played Rocket League for I think I got to Diamond 3 in either 2s or 3s. And it was a lot of fun, but Surf is the only game I've played for the past 8
Yeah.
years and enjoyed. It's really, really good, and there are lots of reasons for that. So if you do have a question, I can do my best to answer. I'll keep it concise because we did get over the hour mark, which is awesome. But yeah,
No, I think what you're doing is, I mean, everyone probably like, I know a lot of people like, even me. I was like, because I'm like a huge Summoning Salt fan too. So I'm like, I love the world record history stuff. I love history in general. So I think what you're doing with these certain maps and like iconic maps with the records is I thought it was really cool when I saw the separate. I'm like, oh my god, someone finally did it after like wanting it for so long. And then you just kept it going with other maps, which I thought was cool. So I think what you're doing now is fine. Like just trying to like, I mean, doing like the funny like CS:GO surf coach or whatever, just to get more views, so people can like check out your channel and stuff is good.
and that shit is easy. It was like the world record, the corrections video took like fucking 6 months,
I
especially
really
with my
like that
schedule.
video.
It was good, but okay, I'm not gonna tell you what was the major problem wrong with it.
The world record history corrections.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, honestly. I
Oh,
mean,
that's interesting. Oh, easy. Okay.
I thought it was because you like I know like on some of the like on Tronic I knew about Human Borman too, but like I'm like okay that's whatever. I don't really I mean you did your best, which is fine. But now that you talk to Gavin, like he's literally the historian of surf. So
Yeah, and Jobber too. But the audio was the major problem, and that was the complaint that nobody wanted to say. And the audio has increased dramatically just because I talked to the right people and got the info I needed.
no, I
I'm
think
thankful to y'all for the support, and I can't do it without y'all. It's like the information is literally the resource that I'm using to do these, and you guys have all the information. So if you're in the future, if you ever just want to chat, like not even on podcasts, like hey, I just heard about this shit, you might want to hear about it, or just shoot me a chat message. That is a blessing for me because it just gives me what I need to be able to make these videos.
no, I really like these podcast ideas too because I remember Orson did. I don't know how many episodes he did, but he did like I think he did like a podcast after the tournament or whatever, and I thought it was a really cool idea to just chat with like people because this game is like I mean no one like there's so much like other stuff like crouch boarding or whatever, so I think making tutorials on that stuff is really helpful. So
Yeah, and try to create a range. Well,
that's all I got. So
my boy, thank you so much. I hope we do this again, and good luck in your transition to college because it's gonna be a lot of fun, and you're gonna be gone from this
yeah,
damn
sure.
community.
No, I won't leave it. I mean, I'll still be bored on my PC, but thank you. Yeah, it was fun having. Thank you for having me. Sorry.
Nah, you good, my boy. All right, have a good evening.
Peace.
He might be mad. He might be mad that I left that in. Username did a fantastic job. Did a bunch of prep before the interview that made it more substantive and flow well, all the while managing to keep it chill and fun. Looking forward to another convo, but here there was yet again audio problems on my end. His was actually pretty good. If you made it here, next week is hopefully Tux, and I'd love to do it live. And as always, good luck sliding those triangles.